About.
The
boot.
About.
The boot. Yes. A.
Okay, we are live. So welcome everybody who's here watching the Hangout that's through the internet. And thanks panel members for coming on. And I got just something here. And today we've got, I'm not sure who Absol47 is. I'm not sure who that is on the end.
Florian.
Who?
Florian Het.
Oh, Florian! Oh, that's it. See, I don't notice your picture there because you've got a different picture that I've got. So we've got Florian on. Okay, Florian Het from Switzerland. We've got Bill from the United States. We've got Don Hamilton. We've got Joyce Radford. And we've got Tamara Tobridge and Thomas Marguccio. And may have some other ones. We may have Val Smith popping on and Tracy Jameson coming on later. It's a real important day today, everyone. Today is the mark of the marketing season. Okay, it may have started maybe within the last week. You might have noticed people getting busy now because it's when the kids go back to school. In the States, they've started about a week already. Up here in Canada, they start on Monday. And a lot around the world, it's within the next week or so that all the kids are going back to school around the world. So everybody is ramping up for the three big holidays that we have coming up. Okay, we have in October we've got Halloween. Okay, November we have Thanksgiving, and December we have Christmas. Okay. So these are the three things that people are ramping up now, and it's going to get very, very busy. The most powerful months of the year are September and October in network marketing, okay? In general, even the offline stores are going to get very, very busy because people are pre-buying and pre-ordering for Christmas and all that kind of stuff that's coming up. So I'm going to go over a couple of things today to get your wheels turning on how you can start attracting people to your business, okay? Because at the end of the day, folks, it's all about what kind of offering you can offer to somebody that's going to help them in their situation. And in most cases, it's financial, okay? So what we're going to be focusing on is we're going to be focusing on targeting people on certain things. Like I'm going to talk a lot about Halloween today. Okay, Halloween is a big thing, and people like to hold Halloween parties. They like to put a lot of expensive decorations up. It's probably one of the second most expensive times a year for decorations. You got Halloween, you got Christmas. Okay, and not only that, but there's Halloween parties that go on, and lots of people are looking to maybe go to the party in a different look this year. Okay. So I went out and I picked up a couple of things online that I'm going to share with you, okay? And let me just bring up the screen here for you. Just hang on. Why is it not coming up? Hang on. Okay, you guys can see my screen now, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So here's one thing that I brought up, and this is actually something that I told my wife that I might even get for Halloween, okay? Because I like to dress up occasionally, just handing out candy and stuff. Well, here's an official replica of the RoboCop 2 suit, okay? That retails for $23.50, okay? $2,350, okay?
That's all.
High end. It's high end. But you know what? When you have people who want to get this, they will do and look for whatever ways they can possibly do that. Okay? So I mean, here's what the RoboCop suit looks like. When they're all dressed up in it. Let me see if I can get the picture to come up here. But no, it's not coming up here. Okay, I'll have to try and see if I can find get it up here. But let's put it this way: everybody's heard of Comic-Con and stuff like that, right? So people go to Comic-Con and stuff to see what they can, what the latest new thing is that's out there. They see all the costumes and stuff, and they actually wear these things. I go to Comic-Con, our Comic-Con that we have here in Edmonton, and last year when I went there, I would probably say that there was $2 to $3 million worth of costumes that walked through there. Okay, from the Batman costume right here, which is $500 for a low end. Okay, see the Batman costume here? That's a low end, and that's $500 for something like this. They go up as high as $3,000 to some of them. We had people that were dressed up as like Yetis and everything there. And these costumes are very, very expensive. So there are people that are always looking to make money to get stuff like this. So this is a way that you can target people out there for your business. Want to get to that costume party this year and be the talk of the costume party? Here's a costume that's $2,300, and I can show you how you can get that, right? So this is just one of the ideas that I always look at. Like whenever I'm going and doing my marketing, okay, I'm always looking at different effective ways to find my market. Most people are sitting there and they're concentrating on, just regular marketers. I'm concentrating on people in general, okay? Because everybody's out there looking to make some extra cash. Everybody's out there looking to do something different this year, going to that Halloween party, or maybe going out and getting some of that real expensive Christmas decorations because the guy down the street is just pissing them off with all the great stuff that he has and you don't have anything, right? So you get people like that. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Envy or the movie, I can't remember what that one is, where they, with Matthew Broderick and the other guy, and they're competing, for the best house on the block type thing, right? So there's lots of that goes on. And, there's always people out there looking for ways to make money in this industry. So when you're getting started now, and now is the time that you want to start focusing on a lot of different ways to do it. Not just the marketers. There's anybody out there is a marketer, okay? They just don't know it. Anybody on this panel could be the next world's best marketer. We don't even know, okay? Because it's always been said the world's greatest marketer has not even been found yet, right? So you're always seeing people coming out every year, different names that are coming out and making massive money every year. And, they're making their footprint all over the place. And now's our time to start doing that. Start setting that foundation right out the gate as to how you need to focus. So, we use social media a lot, okay? So, you could start using some of your social media. You could start taking pictures of, like I showed you, the Batman suit or something like that for Halloween, saying, wouldn't you like to wear this to your next Halloween costume party, right? I can show you how you can get that, right? I can show you how you get the Batmobile too if you want, right? So, it's all about what you want to focus on, okay? If you want to focus on what I'm calling kind of dead space, okay? Network marketers are ones that you do want to get the attention of, but sometimes you just can't get the attention because their focus is so different, okay? They're not outside the box thinkers, a lot of them out there. They get involved in one program and they're focused on it, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I tell people to stay focused on their business all the time. But a lot of times, marketers are spending a lot of time focusing on a business that's just absolutely going nowhere for them. I talked to a gentleman the other day. He's been in a business for 2 years, paying his monthlies every single month, and hasn't made a dime in it. And I said, why are you doing that? Why are you feeding other people and not getting fed back? In business, the whole idea of business is to go out and find a way to market products and services to create an income for yourself, not to fill somebody else's pocket out there. And that's what the majority of marketers are doing today. They're going out there, they're joining programs, they don't know what direction they're going in. It's like they're in a maze, and they're throwing money at a program every single month in hopes that something's actually going to turn around. Well, until they're shown the direction and shown what they need to do, there's no way that's ever going to happen. I shared one tidbit with you just now on the way that you need to focus on building your business that's out there. And a lot of this today is going to be talking about TLN, okay? This is not going to be a generic hangout. This is going to be more focused on TLN, because I'm going to show you today what Val doesn't show you on the webinars, just how powerful this program can be. I'm starting to see it now, okay? Because I started the rotator system that I talked about, I'm also starting to see some serious impact of money coming in. And I'm starting to see my downline members getting that. I actually have some members that have been in this thing that actually walked away, and they're walking away from $200 or $300 a month in income already. And I can't figure that out for the life of me. I had a talk with her today, and I asked her, what the hell's going on? I says, I got you in a prime position. You got this massive business building underneath you, and you walked away from it. Why? I don't understand the mental thinking of marketers today. This is why entrepreneurs stand out from network marketers, because we don't think like marketers. I am an entrepreneur. I am not a marketer. Okay? The reason is because entrepreneurs are risk takers. They will do whatever it takes to get the job done. Many people today will join a business and they'll work it mediocrely. They'll work it like a hobby. It's just something for them to do. And this is why they spend more money than they actually make. Okay? If you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to think outside the box pretty much all the time. Okay? You never want to know what's inside that box again, because inside that box is wasted space. Okay? And any entrepreneur will tell you that. Any successful businessman out there will tell you that none of them work inside the box and never have. Val will tell you he's never worked inside the box. Okay? He's always worked outside the box. And speak of the devil, there he is. I just noticed the horns, so that's why.
The devil? You call me the devil? You call me the devil?
My hoops must have grounded or something.
It's funny because, you know, you're just talking about how entrepreneurs think versus how marketers think, Val. And you know, I've said that, you know, I've always thought outside the box. And, you know, I was saying, like yourself, you know, you've never thought inside the box. We don't even know what's inside the box anymore. You know, inside the box is just like wasted space. And, you know, that's why you just happened to come in right at the perfect, it was just perfect timing when you came in about that. So, you know, what I've been covering right now is just how marketers think. I was giving some ideas out there. I don't know if you caught that, but, you know, we have 3 major holidays coming up, which is Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Okay? And a lot of marketers, and officially, network marketing season starts today. At least up in Canada it does. Okay? Because the start of the school season starts on Monday. And it's always the weekend before that where this thing kicks off. And our most powerful months are September and October. So what I was just mentioning to everyone on the panel here is that, you know, if you're going to go at this thing and you're going to go at it hard, you need to go at and start targeting people that are out there, not marketers. You got to start targeting people that are out there. You know, as an example, I had up here, I was showing a RoboCop uniform costume, and I was showing a Batman costume. The RoboCop uniform was $2,300. The Batman uniform was $500. Now, there's lots of people that like to dress up at Halloween. They go to the Halloween parties. They want to be the talk of the party and so forth. We have Comic-Con that has just started in the States. Edmonton has theirs next month. I can hardly wait because I'm going to that. I'm a freak for that kind of stuff, so I will be there. And, you know, last year I was telling them, when I was at Comic-Con there, I'll bet you Rena and I saw probably $2 million to $3 million worth of costumes. Okay, that went through there. Some of the stuff you would have seen in there was absolutely amazing. You know, it was like something right out of a movie film. And most of these are replicas out of there. They're done from the molds of the replica costumes that are done in there, and they're sold. And they're usually run between $2,000 and $5,000 a costume. And these guys are walking around. We saw Batman. You could swear he was right out of the movie when we saw him there last year. The guy talked like him and everything. He had the deep voice of the Batman. You know, the whole thing. It was just so cool. We had to get our picture taken with him. It was so cool, right? But what I'm saying is that we need to focus on this. You know, you need to start giving some ideas to people. You know, here's Halloween coming up. You know, you want to dress up your place and be the talk of the neighborhood. Lots of people like to do that. Guys have this kind of big ego a lot of times that this is what we want to do. We want to be the talk of the neighborhood. We can't stand it when the neighbors have a better looking house than us, right? Even when it comes to Christmas time, it's always that kind of thing. It's a guy thing, I think. Right?
Carl, there are dogs taking over this hangout. They're upstaging you right and left here.
So, I was bringing up the fact that we can show people how they can get that kind of money, right? So I don't know if you guys want to chime in. You and Tracy want to chime in on that kind of thing about this time of season right now.
Well, yeah, everybody's finally back. You know, they're getting their heads on straight. They got their beer put away and they're off the patio. And, you know, summer's over. It's time to get back to reality. Kids are going back to school. You know, they got to start looking about working towards, you know, Christmas time, getting some bills paid off and all that kind of stuff. So historically, these are the best times, months of the year to really get people focused and get busy. So I think we've got we've got a tremendous opportunity here right now, and you know, people are starting to pay attention. That's my experience, definitely.
Absolutely. Val?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The network marketer is going to be working hard, and the nitwit marketer is going to be working hard. You're going to be asking me, if you don't have $250 from your PayPal, you've got a program for you right now. You know, it's kind of wondering if you're getting me program right now. You'll have $2,000 by 8 o'clock tonight because it's going to be spillover. So that'll be going live and well for sure. And then Tracy and I are going out. We're leaving North America and we're going to Asia.
Yeah.
Because they don't use PayPal there. They actually use credit cards and they run real businesses there. So yeah, it's going to be great, Carl. You've got the PayPal, and then you've also got the real merchant accounts coming through. You know, from September on, it's going to be rocking. Now's the time to hit it hard. But you know, if we're going to talk about anything, I think we should be talking about Asia. Like if we're talking about the Legends Network, I was in a conversation with a lady in Hong Kong last night. She saw Evan. Yeah, talking at the event. I can't even think straight. And then Todd Falcone was there. Doris Wood was there. I think Jim Britt was there, and we got talking, and she's all excited now. She calls me teacher.
Nice.
Calls me sir and teacher. She really, they're hungry for this, Carl. The Eastern Hemisphere is so hungry for what we got, and they're willing to listen. They're willing to listen and follow protocols. So yeah. So I mean, you know, there's a lot of Halloween going on here on the internet in North America. People don't know what character they are nowadays. So the beautiful thing is, you know, we can hit it hard. Now's prime time. You're absolutely right. It's prime time, and now's the time to hit it hard. But you got to be specific as to where you want to invest your time, effort, and energy in hitting it hard. You want to hit it hard with productive people, or do you want to hit it with, can you send me a PayPal request? No, that type of thing. I'm just not into it.
I get my Al Smith costume for Halloween. I need one.
I have no idea what that would look like, Thomas. I have no idea.
You know, I want to talk. I also want to talk today about the compensation plan. You know, Val does not go into this on the actual webinars for a reason, because first of all, you know, the majority of people today don't even realize or can't comprehend making $3,000 to $5,000 a month on the internet.
Oh!
Going in.
The female version of Dave Dubs. Ladies and gentlemen, 2014 Save on Food Corporate Executive of the Month. Everybody needs to go
today. Is, you know, when Val's going through the webinars, you know, he's talking about the money that can be made, and you know, to be quite fair and honest about this whole entire program, there is not a program on this planet that will touch what we have, and the reason they won't touch it is because of the amount of money that the company only takes in. The company is not greedy. the company is not taking 27 to 42 to 60% off the top like most companies are. And the reason most companies do that is because they have severe breakage within their business. Okay? But what I've seen done with this business here in the comp plan is, first of all, the company has gone back to take enough money to be sustainable and operational, which is around the 20% mark, okay, in network marketing. Because we run a digital product, 20% is a great medium for them to be working on and still creating enough money for themselves to be operational and sustainable. And because of that, you're looking at 20 to 40% being thrown back into the compensation plan. That's why we're able to do what we do. Now, one thing I want to touch on, and I'm going to bring up a thing here in a moment. But one thing I want to touch on is what we don't talk about really is the profit center. Okay, the re-entry profit centers that come in. You know, the program is so simple. You know, you're talking 6 people. Okay, you get 2 and they get 2. Now, you can either wait for them to get 2, or you can just do it and get it done and create your profit center. Okay, regardless, you're making money off of that no matter how you look at it. Okay, now here's what happens when you create your re-entry position. Okay, what has happened now is you are now the sponsor of that position. Okay, so now when you start putting your 2 in, and even if you put the other 2 in there to create that, what's happening is that you are getting the $30 coded bonus and the $30 pass-up bonus. So you're not just getting $30, you're getting $60 now. Okay? And then for every third one after, of all those people, you're getting the $30. So now what you've done is you just tripled your money. Okay? And this is why you've got guys, I'm not sure if Joel is doing this now, but this is what I'm doing with me. I'm going to create as many of those profit centers as I can, and that's all I'm filling. Okay? I'm filling those profit centers all the way down. I'm filling them as much as I can do, because that's going to be paying me more money than you can ever dream of. Okay? We talk about so much money that can be made in programs on there. A lot of people say the one-up systems and all that stuff, you know, selling $1,000 products, $2,000 products, and all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you, with $129.95 going in here, you're going to make more money in $30 coded bonuses than you will in any of those other programs. Guarantee you. You'll have more people making $250,000 a year selling $129.95 products than selling $1,000 or $2,000 one-time products that are out there on these one-up systems. Okay, I've been in them. Okay, I know how hard it is. And the other thing that people have to realize is that in some of these big-ticket programs that are out there, you are looking at a very, very small percentage of people who will actually invest or put their money down in something like that. You know, the average family, it takes them 2 to 5 years to bank $3,000 to $5,000 in savings, maybe longer. So when you come across a program and it asks for $3,000 or $5,000, it is very hard for someone to part with that kind of money. Okay, they're going to be so hesitant, it's unbelievable. But yet, the way the economy is now, an average night out is about $130 on a weekend.
That's lunch.
Okay, that's an average night. Well, depending on where you are. You know, here in Edmonton, even for Rena and I to go to the movie, we're looking at $65. Okay, you're looking at $35 for movie tickets, and then about another $30 for popcorn and pop. Right? I mean, I don't know what it is down in the States, but up here, yeah, we're looking at $15 to $17 a person for a movie ticket, and then for popcorn and pop, it's around $10 or $11, right? Maybe a little bit more. And if you've got a family, you got kids, you know, take out a second mortgage, okay? Because that's what it's going to cost you to take your kids to the movies 3 or 4 times a year. Okay, because it's expensive. I took my grandkids out to a movie, and when we went out, it cost me $123. $123 to go and watch a kid's movie, which 3 months later I could rent for $3 or $6 on TV. Go figure. And I could have made the popcorn and bought the pop and everything I had in my living room. But you know, kids, they got to see it on the big screen. So the point is here is, if you're going to go out and start marketing a program, you've got to start evaluating everything. And people don't evaluate programs. You know, someone like myself and Val and Tracy and maybe some of you here evaluate programs. I will go and I will look to see what kind of money I can make from the matrix or whatever the comp plan is here, but I look even further than that. I have to look and see how easy and achievable it's going to be for the average person. I can do anything. I can go in and market anything that's out there, but I need to make sure that the people I'm bringing in are going to be able to do it too. Because you get what they call the tire kickers. And, you know, it's kind of an unfair tagging that we give these people, because the people that are the tire kickers out there are the ones that have never been shown how to do anything. So we call them tire kickers. They're the ones that will, well, I'll try it. I'll try it. I'll try it. And the reason they're trying it is because they've been in so many bloody programs, it didn't work for them because nobody ever gave them guidance. And it all boils down to what we offer. We offer not only an easy way for people in this program to actually make money here because of the way our compensation plan is laid out, but we probably have the best training on the planet that's here, hands down.
Probably.
I mean, well, you know, listen, you know, when you've made it a point of only having millionaire legends doing the training in there, that's going to tell you something. You know, there's people on this planet who have made their money from getting their hands dirty and having the failure over and over again and learning how to succeed and build proper businesses. And then you have those that get it by luck. And I know a lot of those guys. Okay? There's a lot of them. So before I get into this thing here, is there anything that you, Val, or Tracy, you want to chime in on before I bring up the spreadsheet here? It's actually not a spreadsheet, it's a form, I guess.
No, I'm good. Personally, I'm good. You're absolutely correct about the marketing plan. I don't get into that specifically because it creates confusion. There's so many dimensions to the compensation plan that sometimes it can be too overwhelming in expressing it to people in a call. So it's, yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I'm putting it on here, because I am going to specifically talk about how getting to and having them get to can create you more money than you can imagine. We're not going to talk about everything else that's in the comp plan. We're just going to focus on that little segment that's in there. Okay? So I'm just going to bring this up here and get to that page, and hopefully I do got it down.
Gone.
Oh, I actually did. Okay, just give me a second here. I shut down that page. I'll get it here in a second. Just give me 1 sec. Wrong page. Sorry. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is something I put together just the other day. I haven't really shown it. This is kind of its debut. I'm not going to go through the whole basic page here. I want to just focus on just this part right here. Okay. Now, this is the whole part of this program here is, you know, we have our referral bonuses that come in. Okay. But what I'm going to talk about today is just the matrix side of it, okay? Because we have our two sides to it. We have the referrals and the matching bonuses and quota bonuses that come in there. And then we have our matrix where everybody is put into. And this is what creates you the residual income, okay? Now, as powerful as our program is, even without the reentries, I'm going to show you just how powerful this thing is with the reentries. And I think I got to scroll down a little bit further here. Okay, here we are down here. Okay, I just got to see where I was. Okay, so you come in, and this is what your matrix looks like here. Okay, it's don't use that P word. Okay, but I call it the Christmas tree, whatever you want to call it. But every business is formed like this. Every business to date, whether it's corporate world or anything, this is the formation of business. Okay, It starts at a peak, and then it works its way down to the outer edges, okay? Now, when you come in, this being you here, and you sponsor 2 people, okay? Now, you can either wait for those 2 people to sponsor 2, or you can do like I do. I don't wait for anybody. I will actually place 2 people through this person personally, okay, and through this person personally to gain this. This is the most powerful part of your entire business, okay, these re-entry systems. And I'll do the same thing in here to create this one. The reason I do that is because, first of all, as soon as I create this is the re-entry, this position is now sponsored by this position. So as we know, when you sponsor somebody in the program, okay, and the first 2, what happens is that when these people are come in here, okay, when these 2 people come in here, this $30 is usually passed up to your upline sponsor. But in this scenario with your profit center, you are the upline sponsor. So you're going to sponsor these 2 people in here. You're going to make a $30 bonus from them, okay? You're also going to make a $30 bonus from these other positions come in. So now you're looking at a 60. So for every one of these 2 that come in here, this person here is going to get a $30 bonus, and this person is going to get a $30. So now, and this being both you're now being paid $60 rather than $30. Everybody with me so far?
Kinda, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do this again. When you get sponsored in the system, okay, you make $50 on these 2 people. Normally in a regular matrix system that we see, you make $50 on these first 2, and the $30 is then passed up to your sponsor. Okay? We all know that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So when a re-entry position comes in, this re-entry position is now you're your own sponsor. So whenever a person comes in here, on the first 2 levels, this position makes $50, and then this $30 is passed up to you. Okay? So rather than you losing that $30, you're now gaining it back through these positions, every single one of them. So you're getting 30, and then 30, and 30, 30, and 30 every single time. You understand that? Have I lost you?
No.
Got it.
Okay. So
Working on it.
this is what's so powerful about creating that. Now, not only does this scenario, the $60 one only works on your own personal profit centers, everything else remains the same. You still get the matching bonuses, though, on anything that's personal by you. So, again, these 2 people, when you get paid on your matrix, you also get paid on your personal sponsored matrices, too, on your personally sponsored ones. So this is the matching bonus that Val talks about in the regular matrix. So, you could be paid many different times depending on how many people you actually have within your own matrix. But the point I wanted to make across here, in which a lot of people overlook in this program, and they actually don't even know about this, because it's not covered. As Val says, it's too much information. But for bigger marketers that are out there that may listen to this or may be on this thing here, this has just put a severe light bulb in their head. Okay? Because mass marketers, they want 100 of these. They want absolutely 100 of these going. Okay? And they will do that. They will go through this thing and they will work this thing like a workhorse to make that happen. This is the only program that I feel, and I mean I could be wrong, but this is my own opinion, okay? This is the only program that I believe can make a millionaire in their very first year, okay, if worked properly. And it's just a matter, this is why I created my own rotation system. I work outside the box, folks. I'm not like anybody else that's out there. You won't see a lot of big marketers doing what I do, okay, because they look at the system a lot differently. That they want to make sure that people get their own, because they don't want to create laziness, so to speak, in the system. Here's how I look at that. I'm not creating laziness. I'm building my business. If it means that I've got to build below people to create income for me and stronger income, I'm there, and I'll do that every single day of the week. Along the way, I may make them a lot of money, and yeah, I may make them lazy, and they may walk off with tens of thousands of dollars. Who cares? Because I'm going to get paid 3 times that because of the systems that I'm generating, the way that I'm building. I'm going to build security within my entire business. If I'm making people money, they're not quitting on me. You know, for the first time, I got to say this over and over again, because for the first time, my marketing career, everyone, is I'm in a business now where I have been in this thing now going on 2 months. I'm on my 7th week, and I haven't had one person quit on me. Usually, 60% have fallen out by now on my business. Okay, I'm not sure how it is for most of you in here, but for me, in building any kind of business, whether it's binary or matrix or whatever, within 30 to 60 days, you have a 60% fallout. That's the standard in this industry. I'm still at 100%. I'm also at 100% closing ratio from the webinars. And there's a reason for that, okay? The way the marketing systems work today online is that nobody is actually doing what we do. We have a real person, a real professional presenter, and you won't find anybody like this guy out there. I'm telling you that right now. He's probably one of the best in the world for doing it.
Yeah, thanks.
Who's that? Who's that?
I know it. He knows it.
Who's that? I'd like to meet that guy too.
You know? And you know,
Yeah,
Is that you he's talking about, bro? Hey, bro, is that you he's talking about? Okay.
you know, and this is why we have such good success here. You know, Val talks about this, you know, he'll occasionally talk about this on the webinar. It's about, you know, autoresponders and stuff like that. You know, people are trying to make this industry automated, okay? Business cannot be put on automation, okay? The moment you take the personal touch out of business, it starts to die, okay? And this is why so many people have a hard time, even big marketers. I've seen big marketers out there go out there and spend $10,000, $20,000 a month on marketing. They get all these signups coming in, you know, 200 or 300 signups a month coming in, and then by next month, 150 of those 200 signups have already left because they won't talk to them, okay? I'm a guy who will get on the phone, just like Val and Tracy and some of you in here, that will get on the phone and talk to our people. You know, and that is why we retain a lot of the people we have in our business. And until people get through their head that you have to talk to people, I mean, before the internet, that's how we had to do business. You know, Val, myself, and Tracy, I'm not sure how long, but, you know, 1979 I started in this industry. Okay, Val, I think you were there probably around 76 or 77.
78.
Right?
78.
So, you know, 79, 80, I started in this industry with Shackley products, and you know how I sold those products? They only had 2 products back then, a protein powder and something else. I can't remember what it was. I was in high school. I sold it to my football buddies, okay? I had to talk to people. I had no choice. That was the only way I could actually make money, and I made some pretty good money back in high school from Shackley. But the whole point is that up until I think 85 or 86, when network marketing started hitting the internet in a bigger fashion, maybe it was a little bit later than that, right? That's when everything started coming together. Not 86, 96, I think, or something like that. Right? It started coming together back in the mid 90s. Everything started going on there, and then by the year 2000. Everybody was starting to say, oh, I think the internet is really where we need to be. And then by mid-2000, somewhere around 2005, 2006, social media hit, and that was it. That was the end of anything that was done. You know, whoever was marketing online, we lost that. We had to start all over again through social media. And I have to say, you know, and again, this is my own opinion, is that social media has kind of ruined it for network marketing, because they've restricted a lot of the socializing that we're allowed to do, because, you know, a lot of the social networks now are looking at network marketing as the business that it is, and they don't want business presence on there unless you're paying for it. Okay? Which, makes sense, but a lot of people don't have budgets like that, so they get deterred, they get thrown in jail or kicked out or their accounts locked up or whatever it may be, and now they're back to another frustration stage. So, Val can contest to this, because I was with him in Mentors in Motion from 2001 to about 2003, 2004, before I moved on, and then he ended up shutting down Mentors in Motion, or so to speak, around 2006, 2007. So, Val, can you come in and give us your kind of take from all the way back, from the 78, 79, all the way through the process as to how we actually had to do some network marketing?
Well, it's really simple. You had to interact with people. There was no way around it. And we didn't have the internet, and we didn't have cell phones per se at first. Then eventually we did, and then eventually fax machines came into play. There was something called a fax machine. And then we used to stand around a fax machine. Everybody would stand around a fax machine at their house, and we'd do a countdown, and all of a sudden we'd have one person, because I believe in delegation, we'd have one person do the artwork, some really cool graphic work, and we'd all stand around our fax machines. We all had the same advertising slip, pamphlet, whatever, and we'd run it through the fax machine, and we would just send people to the conference calls, and that's where it was all at. It was all about talking to people. It was just a beautiful thing, because it was great. Because look at it, we're here on Google Hangout, we're kind of goofing around a little bit, talking seriously, a few laughs here and there, and that's the way it always was. That's what holds people together. I take a look at some of the people that even come into the Legends Network right now that said they were going to do awesome, said they were going to do great, said they were going to get cars, said they were going to win the $1 million, and they're gone now, because they're really not people persons. They're looking for something on the internet that's easy, technologically simple, that they can duplicate. There's still so many people are still caught up in the word duplication, and I'm just a big advocate of delegation, because I just don't believe in duplication. I understand what people are trying to say through duplication, but I just don't see it working. It doesn't work. If it worked, we'd all be making money. But when you take a look at, in North America, the internet's huge, right? But when you take a look at Asia, they're all going to meetings. They're packing in hotel meetings every night in Asia. I talked to a girl in Hong Kong last night. I said, do you use webinar rooms? She asked me what a webinar room is. She didn't know what a webinar room was. Yeah, and she's got like a big organization in her health and nutritional company in Asia. So they're used to face-to-face, belly-to-belly, eyeball-to-eyeball. It's a beautiful culture. It's a beautiful way. And if you go over to Japan to do business with anyone in Japan, if you dare come out and start talking about your business opportunity first, they want nothing to do with you. They want to know who you are as a human being. What are your family values? What are your beliefs? What are your religious beliefs? What are your morals? What are your ethics? They want to know about you first before they'll ever do business with you. No papers are going to be signed until they pretty much do an FBI investigation on you per se. But here in network marketing, I was joking about it earlier, send me $250. We're Christians. We're going to be family. We're here to help people. Those are parasites, and I have no problem calling them parasites. Those are parasite behaviors. And they don't do that in all the other countries around the world that are really, really hungry. I mean, I shouldn't say all, but they do have some sleazy people in other countries too. But if you study anyone, take a look at the biggest money earners in the world in network marketing. Do you find them on Facebook? No, they're not even on Facebook. They don't have time for Facebook. They're too busy building relationships, jet setting, flying in, doing micro events. When I think of Ray Higdon, he just moved into a beautiful house. He bought another house. He and his wife bought another house in April. He'll tell you about it if you go listen to the interview. He just built probably, I don't know, $50,000, $60,000 pool with fluorescent lights in it. And what Ray's doing almost every night of the week, or at least probably 3 nights of the week, is he's entertaining. And even when I kept saying, don't do home parties, Benita and I got involved in a health and nutritional company for a few months, and then we realized the product had bad, ingredients in it as we educated ourselves. But we used our house as a prop because we live in a nice house too. And I had a guy sitting in my garage, sitting in the Ferrari, drinking beer, and he kept saying to his wife, "Sign up, man! Sign up! This guy's got a Ferrari and drinking beers in there." He was just so wired that we had a Ferrari. It was closing deals. People would come sit in our house. They'd look around and go, "Oh my God, the ceilings are like 30 feet high." They'd freak out. So all these things are so important, and you can't do that on the internet hiding behind an autoresponder if you happen to have even a home to bring people to have meetings. So the ones that are making the money are those that are engaging in relationships, utilizing their personalities, overcoming, personal flaws in their personalities. I look at Rebecca Stevenson. She lives away out in the boondocks. I have no idea, like almost like in nowhere land, her and her husband. And they live off the land just like living off the land, like living in the mountains, like the Ozark Mountain Daredevils. And then they come out of the hills at a certain time of the day, and Rebecca's got the library booked for 1 year. Her community library, she's already paid in advance for 1 year. Why would she do that? Because she understands the power of relationships. So whoever, and Ray Higdon touched on it, Todd Falcone touches on it, whoever masters the art and science of building a business through relationships will come out with the most money. Because you take a look at all the internet guys, most of them suck at multi-level marketing anyhow. Why don't they do multi-level marketing companies? Why do they go to affiliate programs? Because it's kind of the hit and run, hit and run, hit and run, hit the list, run, hit the run, and just keep sending different products through the list. But if you notice, there are very few internet experts out there, and we've had some of them fail here, that are good at teaching, maybe okay at affiliate marketing, but when it comes to multi-level marketing, they totally suck. They don't know how to build a business, but they know how to sell their stuff to a list. But they don't know how to build a business. They don't know how to get out there and network. They really, really don't. And I don't know. It's all about engaging in relationships. And that's why right now, and I've been preaching this for about 15 years, but to be truthfully honest with you, I've never took the time personally myself, so I really wasn't walking the talk to get out there and hit the other hungry cultures out there in planet Earth. But when you take a look, when I talk to Ray Higdon, or I talk to Todd Falcone, I talk to Randy Schrader, all the money that's being made in the industry is not in North America. North America is like a Wendy's drive-through, a Tim Hortons drive-through, a Krispy Kreme drive-through. It's just hit and run, fast and furious, got to get in, got to get out, got to get in, got to get out. And it's a disease. And I just can't relate. I could relate to it before, but where I'm at in this stage of my life, I can't relate to it. So it has to be long-term. So, Carl, really, it all depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for affiliate marketing, that's understandable. But if you're looking to build a multi-level marketing concept, the biggest money earners are not building it on the internet. Maybe some of their team members are, but the biggest player is Holton Buggs. What does he do? He invites people back to his house. Ray Higdon, what does he do? He invites people back to his house. They're all inviting people back to their palaces and shaking hands, and that's what keeps people together. You know, I can see Tracy, I can see Tamara, I can see Bill, I can see Carl, I can see Don, I can see Thomas. I don't have all the names here on the list, I can't see, but, you know, because we're here in video, it kind of makes it fun and exciting. It creates a bond, it creates a connection. But just imagine if we were live sitting in a hotel room or hanging out at a cafe or something, it really pulls people together. It's the togetherness that counts, and that's how you build a business, by developing those relationships. I couldn't build a relationship with you, Carl, with an autoresponder. There's no way.
No.
It's ludicrous. So that's my 2 cents.
You know what? And it's so true because.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Tracy.
Well, you know, Ralph, he had a couple of key terms in there. This is my opinion, of course, but he had a couple of key terms in there. And I know through any corporations, companies, you know, this is what we're building, our own companies inside of another company. But one of the key components is building a culture. And what that culture does is it breeds, and people want to belong to something. They want to belong to something. It draws people into it. And so when you develop something of its own type, and that's exactly what the Legends Network is doing, it has definitely got its own culture. It's got a lifestyle culture to it. It's got an upscale culture to it. So that's going to be something that people, it's got sustainability to it, you know, and it's got all of the key components, the key people. So that in itself is the culture, creating the family environment and the lifestyle. That is all one really nice little parcel. But with regards to the internet stuff, I mean, we can still go in and make friends one-on-one. I think that that's a really good component to what these social networks are. You can make some good friends, and I've made some really lifelong friends by doing that through this industry. But when you're trying to do the affiliate marketing, the internet changes so quickly that just when people think they have it, they change it. And the only people that are going to stay ahead of that game are the people who are like the total programmers who understand the algorithms and all that kind of stuff. You're never going to stay ahead of that stuff. And these people are going to be, again, making all their money selling the programs, how to teach people, to reteach them, to teach them again, and selling those programs to teach the people, all that kind of stuff. Those are the programs that are going to sell. So, it's just kind of wrapping up, taking up the exterior of what you had just talked about, Val. I think that's really what this company is why it's going to be so successful is because of the family atmosphere and the culture that is really upscale that we're building here.
One of the things I just want to elaborate on what Tracy said. She's absolutely spot on when she said that it's forever evolving. It just, where does it all stop? I mean, where does it stop? How many times do we got to keep taking courses and learning new things and moving forward with that? When do people stop doing that and start building a business? And I think that's the big thing missing here in North America is people are chasing, the new training course, the new, the new technology, the new toy, the new iPhone. When the hell does it stop? When do we stop to build a business? And that's why nobody's making money, because they don't get it. Network marketing wasn't about technology. Network marketing wasn't about bells and whistles. Network marketing is the art and science of empowering, communicating, and developing a relationship with another human being based on their needs, wants, and desires. My need, wants, and desires are to spend time on the internet buying every course, because there's got to be a point in my life where I got to stop and say, when do I make time for myself? Make time for my business? When do I make time to start making profit instead of wasting all this time trying to keep up with something that most of us don't understand anyhow? So, the bottom line is, it's one thing to have all the toys. I mean, it's like having a great car collection, but when are you going to drive the car? When are you going to enjoy the car? And sometimes looking at the car is just not good enough. You want to enjoy it. You want to feel the horsepower. It's like Tracy, she loves horses. When do you want to stop looking at the horse? Why don't you get on the thing and ride it? And so that's what we need to do is we got to build the business, guys. Anyone watching this, you got to get off the pot. You got to stop wasting your time with all these training courses out there and get out there, get off your asses and start building a business and start connecting with people. People build businesses. Technology does it. Take the people away. Technology's not going to make us nothing if the people are out of the equation. So I don't, it's a fool's paradise out there today, and I think people just got sucked into it because it's brilliant, it's new, there's a lot of peer pressure involved in it, and they're using the fear of loss all the time. They're sucking people in through that scummy little methodology of fear of loss, and that's just the way it has been. You don't need to fear anything. You don't have to be the first. You don't have to be the second. And the whole myth that the guy at the top or the gal at the top of the matrix or the binary or the unilevel makes all the money, that's a crock of crap. It's so untrue. I came into companies 3 years after the big guys were in there, and I blew them out of the water after 8 months. Yep. So not just me, but other people. Rebecca wasn't the first person in Legends Network, but yet she's making the most, well, not now, she's not. We got a Korean lady making the most money, but they weren't the first people in the Legends Network. They're not at the top of the matrix, so that whole myth about the person at the top of the pyramid, that's all a crock of garbage.
Sure it is.
People don't understand the numbers. They don't understand the business. And technology is not going to help you with that. It's you got to get in there and talk to the people that can walk you through it. That's why we go to the doctor. I go to a chiropractor because he can adjust me. We can talk about my kids, his kids, have fun, have a coffee together, whatever it is. He doesn't just throw me in a room and stick me on an automated system and then have the secretary come out and send me home. There's an interaction. My doctor engages with me, talks to me, explains to me what's going on with my body so I know what to do instead of just, here, throw you on a machine. Okay, yeah, see you next Monday. That's what the internet feels like. It feels just like you're not important, you're not wanted, you're not needed, but, oh, by the way, here's a check, It sucks.
No, it's funny because when I think back to Mentors in Motion, when we did that, you did your calls and everybody got on the phone and we listened to you as you did your training with us. And then the first thing that we did afterwards is whoever we invited to it, we got on the phone and we started talking to them. Now, it even brings me back even further. When I was with a health and nutrition company way back in the 80s, right? I used to go to these meetings. It was a air and water filter company, and you probably know what that is. But
Yeah.
we would go to a hall, and and all of our sales were done at the meeting breaks, either before it started, at the coffee break in between, and at the end. And it was because we were talking to each other and meeting with each other. The problem that the internet gives is that it's too easy for people to hit that off button, right? I mean, you're not going to turn around and click an off button when you're talking face-to-face with somebody. We built such strong businesses back then, and, it's no wonder that Amway is around as long as they have today, because they're the ones that started this stupid, I shouldn't call it stupid, they started the whole business meetings. We all call them all stupid home business meetings, but you know what? Look how many millionaires that company created. Look at the wealth that company created from telling everybody, gather around and talk to each other, right? I am seriously going to start doing that here. I'm going to start having home meetings at my home. I'm going to be doing them at cafes and all that kind of stuff. There's a really cool thing online called meetup.com.
Yeah.
You could go there and meet up with people in your local areas and go and meet them at cafes and talk. These are network marketers that are actually calling out other network marketers. Say, hey, let's go and let's meet, right? You can get these things. Everybody's wondering how they can find people. Go online, type in meetup.com in your area. It's there. There's somebody having a meeting this week. This weekend, there's somebody having a meeting. Okay? So this is what I was so excited about this call today, because this is one of the things I wanted to talk about. Is we're starting the most powerful month of the marketing season, September and October, these 2 months, and this is when you got to start engaging with people. Don't rely on your autoresponder. I had people calling me today about autoresponders and stuff. It's like, I don't use them anymore. I used them for a time and they were useless to me, because you know why? Nobody's opening up my emails.
Yes.
Because it's too easy to go delete, right? But if I don't know, I can leave a message or they'll answer. And they'll phone me back and they'll either say something nice or something bad, but at least I got connected with them, right? At least they're responding back. I don't know how many, you can send out 1,000 emails today, and you'll be lucky if one person responds back and says, not interested, or take it off your list. Half of
You'll
them
be
just
lucky
delete
if one
it.
goes into their inbox. The rest go into spam. If you're lucky, you get it even better.
I delete over 5,000 emails myself a day. I don't have time to go through 5,000 emails. Okay? Who knows what the heck is in that stuff? I skim through them and find out if it's somebody I know, and then I'll open it. If I don't know what it is, delete. That's how good an autoresponder is. Okay? That's how good an autoresponder is. In most cases, with an autoresponder, you're going to get you're going to get a spam complaint more than anything, right? That's what's going to happen, right? Because nobody's opening up this stuff. Like Val says, for 2 months he was in that thing there, and he had home parties at his house for 2 months. And he was selling it on whatever. Maybe you've got a leg lamp or something that somebody's going to talk about at your meeting. Who knows, right? It could be anything. But what everybody needs to start doing today is they need to start engaging with people, okay? If you're going to be on social media, engage with them. Get them like I do. Get them on Skype and call them and talk to them. That's how I get people into my business. I talk with them on Facebook or LinkedIn or Google. I get them on Skype, and I do a video call with them.
That way they can see you. They can hear your tone of voice. They can laugh with you. It's more personal. I agree with that 100%. Get them on something where they can see you.
It's just like you hear the term out there, first impressions are everything, okay? Whatever first impression you have with somebody, that's how they're going to determine who you are. Most people today can't write their first impression properly on paper. So if you screw up your first message to somebody, That's how they're going to have that impression of you from that day forward. That's why I always tell people to get on Skype with me. Let's talk so we can get to know each other and that. Maybe we'll connect, maybe we won't, but so what? We got on that and we had that connection, right? And I'm telling you, this is what we've all got to start doing. I'm glad that Val brought this up today because this has been on my mind for so long. I've just been trying to figure out how to do it. He did it for me. It's on the table. And believe me, folks, today, the people that are marketing today aren't making half the amount of money today that people were making yesterday. When I talk yesterday, I'm talking about the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, okay? That's where all the big money was made online. You're not seeing that today. You know, you're seeing a lot of people, oh, I made $100,000 this year. Yeah. When you look way back then, you're talking about people who are making $500,000 to $1 million in their first year. And that was because of the total engagement. You know, you had people, like in the program I was in, this water filter program I was in, we had people, like Val said, flying across Canada and coming to these things, okay? I had guys coming to these meetings driving Lamborghinis and Ferraris back in the 90s, okay? I mean, that was something you didn't see, and they're coming to these things in here and coming in there with their suits and everything like this. They're all jacked up, and when you get in there, all the talk. They're just interacting with people, okay? We would have our 15, 20-minute presentation, just like the webinars today. You have the presentation, but back then, they were bland, okay? Thank God for this guy right here, because he makes them fun, okay? I have been to them where I've sat there in my chair for 15 minutes, and I've actually apologized to people. You know, it's almost over, don't worry, just sit through this thing. It's almost done, then we'll talk afterwards. Because that's where all the sales were done. They weren't done during there. You actually have to try and keep people in their seats from leaving, right? Because the presentations were, well, this is what our product is, and this is what it does, and this is how you do this, and this is how, you know, at least Val, you know, he'll throw in Cheech Moran and all this kind of stuff in here. He makes it fun, and he actually makes it ride smooth that you want to be there. I want to be at every single webinar every day. You know, I'm a veteran of this industry. I've been around here, but yet I want to be there every day. Why is that? Okay? I have gone to presentations where I have been in them for 5-6 minutes and gone, no, I've had enough of this. You know, they bored me to death. Because all they do is they talk about the product in too much detail that they bore the hell out of you, right? This guy here, and Val, you know, I'm telling you, I'm putting you up on a very high pedestal because I've known you for so long. I knew what you did in Mentors in Motion, and what you do today blows the doors off of what you did in 2001, okay? It's no wonder people want to come and join us here.
They weren't there to win.
They want to come and join us here. I'm telling you, you just gave me some great ideas. You know, I'm going to start inviting people to Val's house. He won't even know this.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll go to Val's.
Think, oh, the coyotes are in the woods, and it'll be us sneaking up in his backyard, right? And we'll have our chairs with us, and we'll be ready for the presentation, right?
That'll be it. Coming over.
You brought up something that I wanted to talk about. Now I forget. Tracy, what was it?
What was it?
You're supposed to know. I forget. Well, anyhow, and another thing. Todd Falcone. That's your job, Trace. Todd Falcone said he's got incredible relationships with people that he's never met in person, but he's talked to them on the phone for 8 years. And so when I yeah, he's never met them in person, but he's talked to them on the phone for 8 years. They've never physically met in the physical, but they're just like, there's like a family connection there. And so I think about some of the people that I even taught Mentors in Motion, and then to see them out there on the internet today talking about, you know, the beautiful thing they love about their business is they don't have to pick up the phone, and for them to say, well, you know, I left Boston and I flew to Los Angeles and I made $3,200 while I was in the plane today. It sounds okay, I guess. It sounds pretty good, but to me it just doesn't sound very good. I'm not attracted to it because, you know, for these people that make their living talking on stage and being #1 money earners in companies, for them to say that they don't use the phone to make money, it's a lie. Yeah. I watched them on Facebook saying no recruiting, no sponsoring, no picking up the phone. and then yet one of the same guys who's the top money earner made over $1.5 million in one of the companies. Why does he ask me for my phone number? He says, Val, I have to talk to you. So why BS people on Facebook with your posts, but then yet you really think, you know, people of prominence in this industry or people that have done well are literally going to go to your website, send them a link, and they're going to sign up with you. I don't know any 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure, high 5-figure money earner that would sign up with anyone without having a conversation with them in any which way. Everyone's got questions. We've got a guy right now in Greece. He wants to come into the Legends Network, but he will not come into the Legends Network until he has a video conversation with me or Blair to come in, because he wants to know that things are straight up. He's not just taking, he's not just throwing the dice at the table. He's not just signing up with the person that introduced him to it. He wants to find out from the source, are we for real? You know? And I think the beautiful thing about doing webinars, and I recommend anybody in any country do company do webinars, because it allows people to say, oh yeah, there's that Val Smith guy, and there's Tracy, and there's Carl, and there's, you know, there's the whole team. They're still in the webinar room 4 months later, 5 months later. They're not hiding. They're still the same people. The company hasn't picked up and gone. They're showing their faces. We're there. We're saying, hey, look, this is who I am. You know, this is who I am. It's not like, hey, man, I'm going to send you an email, and you're not going to really see who I am, and I got a picture of my bulldog there or something like that. You really get to see me speak. And that was one of the disadvantages we had in Mentors in Motion, because I was this mysterious guy. I was this curiosity, like, who's Val Smith? You know, it was almost like, because we didn't have the video and stuff. What does he look like? Has anyone touched him? Has anyone ever felt him? Does he have hair? Does he have a mustache? And, you know, that's the stuff. People, does he really live in Canada? You know, whatever it is. You know, so it was kind of like, now there's validation, verification, and people can validate that, you know. That's so important for people to validate information, and if they can't, they're not coming. And that's why I'm so excited about 2014, 2015, what's just transpired with the Legends Network, hopefully leading the trailblaze to this, is that we are telling people, and you heard me say this on conference calls, you know, if you don't validate and verify, don't waste your time. Like, ask the person. If a guy's telling you he's making all this money and he's a big internet trainer or whatever, find out, do they own the car or are they leasing the car? Are they paying rent in a basement apartment, or are they not? And there's nothing wrong with that. But just don't tell me you're going to teach me how to make money when you don't have the financial means to get through the next 2 weeks in your life with or without my money coming in. So that's why it's so important. Consistency is so important in this industry. We need to see consistency through and through with everything we do, and that's just the way it is. You know, and I don't see it with a lot of other companies out there. I don't see the consistency in their methodologies of building. I really, really, really don't. And that's the beautiful thing about a webinar. Even if you don't have a lot of people on the webinar, it doesn't matter. People are still watching. The word's getting out. There's live calls going on. There's people watching us right now.
Yep.
And they're not telling you they're watching you, but they will approach you in about 8 months from now. I had people watch me in Mentors in Motion for 3 years before they pulled the trigger. They just needed to validate and verify it was for real.
Yeah.
So you'd be surprised who's watching every single one of you right now.
True.
And, you know, and the other part of that, too, and I'm glad you kind of came around full circle when you asked me that question, because this is where I was going to go, was about with the webinars. And I said this to you, you and I were talking on the phone, Val, and I said, I'm at every single webinar for a number of reasons. First of all, when I make a commitment, it's 100%. I don't do anything 50%, whether it's relationships, business. When I make a decision, it's 100% all the way. So when I do that, I'm going to commit to being there to be the leader and make sure that I can, if I'm going to ask my team to show up, then I better bloody show up first. But the more important part about that is that, I mean, you do such a great job. You are who you are. You've done what you've done. And you know what? I'd be an idiot if I didn't show up on every one of them so that I could grab every morsel of wisdom and information that you share, because you do it on every one of them. You have a little bit more that you share on every one of them. They're always different, and so I'm smart to do that so that I can gather all the information I can. And and you want to support your team, and show solidarity in what you do. When people say to me, "Oh yeah, I've seen the webinar," I said, "Well, if you've seen the webinar, then you know nothing about the business." I said, because you have to be able to see it a couple of times to really grasp everything that's going on. And for I was told a long time ago by a mentor of mine that the webinars really are designed to keep the people that are in the business to train them, teach them, mentor them, as well as it is for introducing it to a new prospect as well. So it does two things, and if people don't get that, then they're really not in the business. And so, I mean, that's if you're going to do it, you may as well show up. If you're going to be full-time or part-time, it doesn't matter. You still have to be committed 100%. Not everybody can be at every one of the webinars. I can, or at least I can be at 99% of them, and you know what? That's my commitment, not only to my business, my team's business, but the company and to Val as well. So we can't succeed if we don't all be together as a team, right?
Well, I also like what you said about learning and picking up more information, because the more you come to those webinars, the more you know, and then you'll be able to speak about this just like looking at the back of your hand. And people that only watch it 2-3 times and just want to send people to it, they're not serious about business because they're not learning it. They're not becoming familiar with it. They're not becoming to the point where it's got to be predictable. They'll just say, well, go watch the video, go watch the video. Well, what if somebody really wants to ask you a sincere question about your experience with it? You can't just say, go watch the video. What if they ask you something about the compensation plan? Like, let me give an example. Let's say I was being, solicited about a business, and somebody said to me, Val, go watch the video. So I go watch the video, I get back, and then I go back to them and I ask them questions about the compensation plan. If they can't answer those questions at least to like 25% of the, 25% to my satisfaction, why would I want to work with them anyhow?
Yep. True.
I want to work with people that know their business. And if when I take a look at Ray Higdon, he spends almost $200,000 in paying coaches over and above him to help him build his business. $178,000 he paid out last year, I think, just in coaching for himself. That's crazy. I don't know too many people that will do that, spend out of their commission checks almost $200,000 in coaching. And then Ray always says, like Tracy said, Ray says, I've got to set the example. I'm the leader. He says, I've got to work the hardest. I've got to put out the most videos. I've got to do everything, because he says the minute I pull back, you sabotage the organization. And I've seen that with a few perceived leaders here that totally screwed their organization here because they went off and did their own thing, and just totally blindsided their own organization and, let them down and just buried their leadership. They just basically took away from everything they were doing because they weren't satisfied, and they weren't satisfied because of their own result. It's amazing how it all works out, how people can just find a way to screw everything up just based on laziness, greed, selfishness, whatever it is, and I like what Larry Winget says. He says, if you say you're going to do something, do it the way you said you do it when you're going to do it.
True.
And so many people find a way to screw that up, but they'll sit there and perform lip service and say, yeah, that Larry Winget interview is great, man, and I'm following his footsteps and everything he said, and I'm sitting here going, you're full of crap. I said, you've let your people down that you brought in here, and whatever it may be, and that's not just in this company, that's in every company. You see it all the time. People talk a good game, but they can't walk the talk, and that's the crappy thing that sucks, and that's the disappointing thing for me, seeing people that come to me, give me a whole line of BS that they're going to earn a car, they're going to be at the 50,000 people, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and then you find out later they're not doing any of it, So I just say, just be honest. Either you're here or you're not. And if you're just here to use the product, that's great. That's okay, but don't come here and tell me you're going to do something when you don't do it. You know what I mean? It's like me telling you guys I'm going to do the calls 4 days a week, and then I don't show up for 3 months. And I say, well, I was too busy doing something else. It's not right. You just don't do that. You just don't bail out on the people or or shift gears and tell them, well, we got to do this now. Now I understand that if something's bad, but if nothing's bad, don't start screwing around with people's heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take money from somebody one day and then 8 hours later say, well, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing something else, but it's okay. I still got your commission's going to be paid to me Friday. I mean, what a slap in the face that is.
Yeah, okay.
Can I say something?
Sure,
Go ahead.
I ran my business for 45 years, and if I hadn't have been there, I wouldn't have had a business. And most people today do not do that. They're not committed to anything. I mean, they just are there.
Well, this was what
Amen to that. You're absolutely right on. She's absolutely correct with that.
Sorry.
And I'm here to stay. I was gone for a couple of years off of the internet, and I'm back, and I'm going to start working again. I've been in the Legend Network a couple of weeks now, and I'm learning everything I can do. And so keep up the good work.
Well, I appreciate your loyalty, and I appreciate the 45 years, I think you said, to building a business or what that was, and that commitment. You have to be there every single day.
Daycare.
Daycare. Yes.
Daycare for 45 years.
That's hard work. I couldn't do daycare for 45 years. You have a big organization in your house, though, when you're doing daycare. That's for sure.
Did.
Nobody's buying nothing.
Yeah.
No.
No, but I was responsible for all their children, and the parents still invite me to everything that the kids have. I've gone to weddings. I've gone to graduations. I went to a reception a couple of weeks ago that one of the mothers remarried, and I haven't had her children in years. But she said, I've walked through that door for 14 years. Yep.
So that's a bond you build, right?
Yeah, you
That
created a
wasn't done through an
family.
autoresponder.
Yeah, I had an autoresponder, sure. But
No.
I believe when I put people on, I want to talk to them. I want to talk to them before I put them on. I want to put them in my business. I want them to not, like you say, launch. I want them to launch with me. I don't want them to just join and sit there. I am talking to people. I've been talking to reconnecting with people that I've done business with before. And like you said, there's a lot of jerks out there. I met a lot of them.
Just imagine this. You ran a daycare. Just imagine this. You ran a daycare, and then people find out you're running a daycare, and then they just knock on your door and say, oh, here's my kids. I got to go. I can't talk to you right now. Without qualifying you, without having a conversation. Here's my check. Here's my kids. See you later. Goodbye. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing on the internet. They're just saying, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Here's my
Well,
money.
These are the skills that we have to learn too.
I insisted that the parents came in and sat with me and brought their children and sat for a couple hours, at least, with their child, and came visit me 2 or 3 times before I took their child and got to know who I was.
Smart.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Children.
That I wanted to just chime in here. You talked about, how you want to, if you're going to get involved with somebody, when you want to send people to webinars, like you need to know your stuff, right? So I mean, what I always share with my team is the first thing is think about this as being a franchise, okay? Because literally that's almost what it's like. It's almost like a franchise. It's your business. You're the CEO of your own business. And if you don't know your products, your services, and how your business works, you can't really expect it to actually become cash flow for you, right? So the first thing that I do is I go in and I dissect the company. I go in and I want to know the company as well as the company owners, okay? Because like Val says, if you send people to a webinar or something, and all of a sudden, you say, go watch this, and then you go and talk to them later, and you can't even answer any questions they ask you. I mean, if I was somebody that got sent to a webinar, and the guy was trying to sponsor me, and I started asking him questions that he didn't know, I'd be telling him to go to a webinar. Maybe you better learn something about your own business.
Exactly.
You have to learn first.
Hey, Tamara, you wanted to say something. Your mic was
Oh,
muted.
I don't know. Well, I wasn't muted earlier, so I wasn't sure or not.
You're good now.
Oh, good. Because my main thing is that, I'm kind of like the sheltered one and never really went out and did a lot of volunteering or had children in my house. So I'm kind of learning all this social skill, and that's why I like going to the webinars and going to here, because I'm learning to be able to communicate with people, because the last job I had, or, any job I've had, I've always been so focused on this is my job, and I don't just take time to talk to other employees or take time to talk to customers and stuff, because that's just the way I was raised. So now I'm trying to learn this social skill that it's okay to talk to people and ask questions. So, you know, I know you say you don't want to work with people unless they know what they're doing, but, you know, there's some of us that, even though I've been in it for 8 years, first 7 years, I didn't have anybody to talk to. So, you know, I just want to thank you guys for teaching me how to do this just by having these hangouts.
Hey, you know, Tamara, something that's always worked really well for me, even in my corporate career, even in the network marketing career, never be afraid to say you're not too sure, but you can sure find out.
True.
There you go.
I don't know, I'll ask.
I also want to congratulate Tamara, because after she came on with you the last time, Val, whatever, I can't remember exactly what was said back on there, but it triggered something in Tamara, and she actually did her very first hangout on Wednesday. So I'm very proud for her on stepping up and doing that. She got on camera, and then she went and started doing her first hangout. And it was great. She did a great job. It was a short one. It was about 23 minutes, I think, or something. But you know what? It was a start. And this is the start of watching you come out of your shell and turn into the marketer that's within it. That's what we call releasing the beast within. Okay? So, and that's what's happening. Okay, your inner beast is coming out now and taking charge, and it was so happy to see after that hangout that we had with Val on there a Friday or so ago that that was a turning point for you. So congrats on that, by the way.
Yeah, congrats. That's awesome.
Anybody else on the panel here, Don or Florian? Any of you guys want to chime in on anything that we've discussed here so far?
Anybody want to buy some Herbalife?
No. I will say and it's my fault, but I'm hearing mixed messages sometimes. Some of the trainings, and I think Val touched on it. Maybe the people aren't even in the company anymore, but where you
they're there, Don. They're there to pick up their check, but they've emotionally disconnected.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's what, and like I say, it's my fault for seeing that part of it and saying, oh yeah, well that's the right way to do that. Okay, so I'll go over there, spend a few hours, and you say, wait a minute, this isn't anything what I thought I was involved in. I didn't even think this was part of the business. So it's, you know, I don't know if there's mixed messages. Even some of the people that are on our interviews, it's just a different. I'll get over it. I'm over it now.
Just have some of that Herbalife and you'll be totally over it.
Yeah.
It's a buffet. You got to go and pick through the buffet and make your plates and dine on the divine.
Well, I eat paleo now, so I don't do the buffet.
Woo!
You know, this business isn't about following any particular individual. It's all about gaining knowledge from them and creating your own central hub of information.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I try to explain it to everybody. I mean, everybody has their own source and ways that they do things, and I just pick through each of them, and I find out what might be the best methods to use, and I kind of incorporate it into my own way of doing things, because it's not about you trying to do exactly what somebody else does, because you'll never be able to do that. You know, there isn't a person on planet Earth that will be able to duplicate Val or me or Tracy or anybody else in here, because you're not us. Okay, so it's all about listening, and that's why I go over a lot of the interviews and stuff like that out there, and I'll listen to interviews more than once. I don't just listen to them once and that's it. I'll go over and I'll listen to them over and over, and I try to figure out what these guys are saying, and then I know what I'm doing, and then I try to figure out, you know, if I use something that they're doing, how would I use it within my daily method of operation? Okay. And that's what everybody has to have. You have to have your own daily method of operation, the way you do things. You know, like with me, I provided my team with a daily action plan. you know, it's what I follow every day. It may not be the way that they want to follow things. So, you know, you look at what it is and you figure out a way that fits within your lifestyle and the way that you are, and work it. You know, you listen to the audios, you watch the videos, you go to the webinars, and please go to the webinars, okay? Because you will learn something every day. I've been on Val's webinars every single day for 7 weeks, just about. I think I missed 3 or 4, okay? For 7 weeks. And I go on there, and there you go. See? He's the Jedi Master right there.
Oh, there it is, yeah. Luke Skywalker.
There you go. So that was Val when he had hair, right?
Everybody does.
Yeah, that was when I had hair. That was when I had hair. Back in grade 3.
But you know what? Just my perspective is, and it's been a long time kind of getting it through my thick skull too. It is a set of tasks to a certain degree. It's not a set of tasks at all. It's more about how your brain evolves and develops about how you perceive things, how you can grow and develop, and the rest of the stuff, the tasks and everything are part of the structure of it. The tasks are not the entire structure, and that's the part, especially like that Richard Stevenson. That was one of my favorites. I loved listening to him, what he had to say. You know, it's about really getting in behind the brain and really getting, and I know you did a lot of this stuff. I wasn't in the Mentors of Motion, but I totally get what you're talking about. It's about changing your mindset and really, and when you get there, you look back and go, okay, I really totally get that, but you won't get it today until you're over there. So it's a growth, it's a stretch, right? And getting out of your comfort zone, like you have put on your
yeah, for sure.
On your website, right? But that's really what the whole environment is about taking all of that stuff and not doing the tasks that they do. It's about listening to the meaning behind the words and about what they did to do the tasks that got them there. So it's all about the mental more than anything else, right?
Yeah, absolutely it is. Yeah, the mindset is paramount to everything. If there's a world within, there's a world without. The world without's a reflection of the world within. I can't say that enough. It's just, that's what it is. And, there's all kinds of, psychological dynamics to it. Different personalities, people that are interdependent, people that are independent, people that are codependent. Certain reasons for why we do things, It's, why do some people run to cigarettes? Why do some people run to alcohol? Why do some people run to, sex or anything? There's all kinds of addictions to all kinds of certain things out there that take the pain away. And in network marketing, it's, you got to go with the crowd, I guess. Wherever everyone's smiling and laughing, wherever, it's like, when I look at network marketing, it's kind of like, a big lineup at the Apple store on a Saturday because they're launching something new. And then you've got frickin' Shaw Cable launching something new, then TELUS launching something new, and AT&T launching something new. So everyone's kind of going like, it's like Black Friday. You got to get out there and hit all the stores to get all the deals, and that's what people are doing here in marketing. Is they're running from one store to the next because they don't want to miss out on something they think they're going to miss out on. But the funny thing is they're not going to miss out on anything. Yeah. That's the amazing thing, and they don't get it. There's nothing to miss out on in this industry. There really, really isn't. That's the myth. Well, you're going to miss out on it. Well, you better be one of the first, and it's really irrelevant. It has nothing to do with commitment and building a business. It's just a fear of loss mentality, and we've been taught that through TV commercials and flyers that come to the door, and only Friday, you better get down Friday. It sales over 12 o'clock. And that's what we do at network marketing, and this whole addictive crowd gets sucked into that like a bunch of, no minds. I don't care. I'd rather go when the sale's over, and nobody in the store.
Me too.
Yeah, it makes me feel good.
It's funny, in all my years that I've been doing this, in all my years I've been doing network marketing, the most money I made was when I wasn't in first. I was in at the very top of one business, and that was the business I made the least amount of money. Now, go figure on that, right? But I come in and I join businesses years afterwards, or even months after they've started, And that's when I've had success. But when I was the first guy in, that's when I made the least amount of money. And you'd think that that's when you would make the most amount of money. But it all goes accordingly to your mindset and how the mindset is of everybody else. I mean, you could be a guy that's on a 2-by system, and you have one guy that comes in first, and he's on the left side, and he grows to 500,000 people, and then you're the one that's on the right, and you come in and you've got like 65 people, right? And it's all about the mentality of your mindset when you first get involved in all businesses, and that's why most people, like Val says, fail, because they figure that if they're not in first, they can't make any money. And yet, when I came in afterwards, like when I joined Herbalife 15 years after they started, I made a boatload of money with them. Go figure, right? But it wasn't because I was in first. It was because I decided that my business started from me down. That's where it starts.
Carl, you were
people have to think.
You were sold on yourself. And everyone needs to get to the point where they're sold on themselves. If you hear me in the webinar rooms, what do I say in the webinar room? Think about what I say in the webinar room. I tell people, I say, I would pay 120. If I were a guest in the webinar room and I heard a presentation like this, and I saw this was the product, I would be in this in a second. I wouldn't say, well, I just can't afford it, or no, I'm too big. You know, I would be in on this. You know why? Because I'm sold on myself.
Yep.
And those of us that are sold on ourselves make the money, and for people that don't feel sold on themselves don't make any money.
Yep.
They're the ones that struggle. They feel insecure. They're unsure. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. But when you are coming from conviction and you are sold on yourself as a person and you feel good about yourself, there's nothing stopping you from making money. You can't even stop yourself once you're sold on yourself. And people...
And that's where I'm at now.
I was just going to say, Tamara, that's where you're getting to, Tamara.
Yep.
Carl's been sold on himself, and that's why people buy me in the webinar. They're buying what Val's saying in the webinar if they buy the TLN package. But if we just held up pictures and there was no audio, we wouldn't have anybody. But they're being empowered by the form of communication based on the fact that I believe what I'm saying. And I believe in the product, and I believe in the comp plan, and I believe what we're capable of doing. But if I was on that call, hi, my name's Val Smith, and I just want to introduce you all to the Legends Network, and I want to talk to you about a product today, and then I'm going to show you how you can make 50 cents on level 3. But if I was doing that in the webinars, we wouldn't get too far. You gotta just come out, you know, and I believe in what it is we're doing. But a lot of people marketing their businesses, they feel like, well, I'm really sorry that I contacted you, and I'm sorry that you feel I spammed you on Facebook because I emailed you an invitation. You know, and if that's the way people feel inside, they're doomed. You got to get to a point where, you know, come hell or high water, I believe in this. You know, you gotta, just like you say, you're gonna beat, like, you know, you're gonna beat a disease in your life, or, you know, it's all mindset. Everything in this industry is mindset. It's not the comp plan. It's not the product. It's not the company. Because some of us can sell ice to Eskimos. Why?
Yeah.
Because they're buying us. I can sell things that are not. I could sell products that are not emotionally connecting to people, but I could get people to say, wow, that guy's really good. I'm just going to buy the product because I like that guy. Did you see what he did? You know, so it's all in who you are. And, Carl, that's what you've been doing for years because you know your stuff. You know this game inside out. You're a veteran, and you can get strong behind something. And once you feel so strong about it, people come looking for you. And that's why – sorry for dominating this conversation for a second, but that's why it's so important to put out videos. It's so important to put out videos so people can see. I put a video out with my 2 kids, but people can see I'm a strong, robust personality. It's not kind of, Maya, can I please dump you for the ALS challenge? And Ethan, would it be okay if Daddy got you just a little bit wet, honey? You know, people, you know, when you're having fun with your kids, when you're having fun on video, when you're talking with passion and drive and desire and meaning and purpose, people say, oh, my God. That's who I want to work with. But they don't want to work with they don't want to work with those type of people. They want to work with those that know their stuff. And that's why it's important to tap into the Legends Network so you can know your stuff.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I'm done.
You know, the one thing, and just going on that, you're absolutely right, and we all deal with this, and these are the people we deal with day in and day out. It's the people that want to come in. They go, okay, you know, I'm ready to put down the $129.95, but you know, how soon can I get my money back? You know, already they're thinking with a negative thought pattern. They're already thinking, you know, how long is it going to take me to get my money back? The thought pattern they need to be thinking about is, what do I need to do to make sure that I have that covered for next month? What do I need to do at this point to ensure that I don't have any expenses after today? It's done. Val talks about it there. It takes a credit card. 30 to 45 days before you have to pay that. Your thought pattern that you have to be into right now is, what do I need to do to ensure that that money is covered and that they're not going to ding my credit card ever again? What do I need to do to make sure that not only do I have that covered, but now I can start taking some money out and start paying my bills? The problem with most marketers out there is they're always thinking about, oh my God, how am I going to cover my $49.95 next month? Oh my God, this is so expensive. This is not expensive. You know what's expensive? Expensive is starting your own business offline. When you go and get involved, like I did when I had a card store, where my overhead was $6,000 to $15,000 a month, almost starting on my first month, that's a scary thought. But even then, I didn't think about, how am I going to cover my rent? How am I going to cover my utilities and pay my employees and everything else? I thought, what do I need to do to raise that money to cover everything and start paying me a salary? You see, that's the thought and mindset you have to get into. This is the difference between being an entrepreneur and being a network marketer. Okay? A network marketer is somebody who has a ball and they kick it around from here to there to here to there to here to there to here to there. That's what they're doing. That's what we call shiny ball syndrome. You get yourself, go to Walmart or whatever, buy yourself a shiny ball and start kicking it around until you're tired of kicking that ball around, and then you'll be ready to do what you need to do as an entrepreneur. Okay? That's about the only kind of scenario I can give you on there. And until you actually decide to allow yourself permission, and you'll hear that from many different top earners out there, you have to give yourself permission to do what you need to do. You can't sit there and beg and pray and figure out when your bills are piling up on your desk, you know, oh my God, how am I going to pay them? That's not what you think. It's, okay, what do I need to do to get that stupid pile off of my desk, never to appear again? Okay? Unless you're a magician, there's not much you can really do about it. And this is what we try to tell you in this. And, you know, this is why I titled this thing, Are You Ready for the Network Marketing Season? If you can't get yourself in that mindset, and if you don't do that, you're going to go through season after season after season after season. You're going to go from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity. It doesn't matter what the golden product is or anything out there. It's not the program, okay? It's you. And I will say this to anybody who's listening to this here. There is no way you will ever succeed in this industry unless you're trained to think like an entrepreneur. Because this is the only way you make money here, period.
Did you get that?
Yeah, you got it, Trace. Way to go. She's got some chores to do. Good sign language.
Oh, I didn't see that. Bring that up. I had to what?
I have to run. I have chores to do.
Oh.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the polite way.
I'm on the farm, man. I'm on the ranch. I got chores to do.
There you go. Okay, you know you got to take videos as you're doing your chores.
Oh no, you didn't want to see that.
Okay. Do you really want to do this, or do you actually want to make money?
You got to validate and verify it's real.
I had three wheelbarrows full of horse manure this morning. You don't want to see that.
No.
Yeah, my
That's
friends are
probably
coming
too
home.
much
They're up
information,
in Las
actually.
Vegas, and they're coming home here shortly. So I'm gonna get cleaned up. I got a turkey in the oven, and
Oh, nice.
so Got to better go check. Hope it's still cooking because I haven't looked at it for a few hours. So we'll see how things are. But hey, you guys.
Okay, Trace, good seeing you. Take care. Have fun, and say hi to Rodney for me.
There you go, yeah. He's a care for all of us.
He calls me every morning when I go to the front door. He calls to tell me that I'm late with breakfast. So he's a challenge.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Trace, for hanging out.
Take care.
We'll probably wrap this up as well. Val, thanks so much for coming on. Tracy and everybody else for coming on.
Hold on. One more thing. Tamara had something to say. She's muted out right now according to the screen. She had something to say.
Okay, Tamara, go ahead. Can you unmute yourself? I'll see if I can unmute her. I'll unmute her if I can.
She went to have a smoke.
Oh, she did?
What a great commercial. Ladies and gentlemen.
Brought to you by
this commercial.
Brought to you by haveasmoke.com. That was hilarious. Anyhow, that's a great way to end the call there.
Nice.
You guys.
Okay, guys. See you, Trace.
Okay, everyone. Thanks again for hanging out. Val, thanks for coming on, and everybody else. Appreciate you being
guys,
here.
have fun. That was great. That was a blast.
Tracy.
Yeah.
Take care. See you, Don. See you, everybody. Tamara. Whoever else is out there, Thomas and the gang, you're all good. Have fun. See you.
Take care.